Could Joshua Kimmich be on the move from Bayern Munich very, very soon? Hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to another video. Yes, today's video is going to centre around the Bayern Munich versatile player known as Joshua Kimmich, as the speculation has really snowballed in regards to where the German's future may lie. He, alongside a lot of other Bayern Munich players, has 18 months left on his contract. And according to Christian Falk today, there is growing interest from the likes of Liverpool and Manchester City. And other outlets are also reporting that the likes of PSG are also monitoring this situation. We're going to be talking about Joshua Kimmich and about what he can maybe offer the Premier League and maybe Manchester City and Liverpool in particular. Before we go any further, I would like to remind you, please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things always and very greatly appreciated. And of course, I encourage you guys to get involved in the comment section down below. I would encourage you to get involved, give me your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. That will make interesting and great reading, I'm sure, on this particular topic down below. So do get involved. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's get on with talking about Joshua Kimmich and a possible move to the Premier League, with Man City and Liverpool reportedly interested in signing him. Like I say, the main bulk of this video stems from Christian Falk, a reporter, an editor for, I believe it's Bild, B-I-L-D, I think that's how you pronounce it. They basically ran a number of reports on Bayern Munich, and they basically stated that a number of Bayern Munich players' contracts are going to be up in about 18 months' time. I think Leroy Sané was on that list. I think Alphonso Davies, I remember reading, was on that list. And Joshua Kimmich was on that particular list as well. And today, news has come out from Falk himself saying that he believes Liverpool and Manchester City are both interested in signing Joshua Kimmich. But of course, with his contract running out in 2025, it could be possible that Kimmich could run down his contract. There's also talk that if Bayern Munich feel like Kimmich's idea is to run down his contract, they may try and move him on in the summer. They say that if obviously that isn't to happen, it could take a big money move in the summer for him to be moved. If obviously Kimmich doesn't want or does want to re-sign with Bayern, but another club becomes that much interested that they want to sign him anyway. He's 28 years of age. He's won practically everything there is to win with Bayern Munich. He's been an absolutely outstanding servant to the club, for them and for everything that he's managed to achieve and do. And obviously the type of player he's become this multi-talented, versatile player that can play in multiple different positions, that I think that alone would be a worthy asset for any kind of team, particularly the two teams that we're talking about here in terms of being the top two in English football as of right now. So it only makes sense. It's a bit of a no-brainer. But how much concrete is there behind these particular rumours? Now, I think we've heard a lot about Kimmich in recent days and recent weeks and recent months, and even in previous transfer windows, in regards to teams that have taken a shining to him. And like I say, with his versatility alone, it's easy to see why. But he's ever so consistent. Fit in multiple different roles. He's great on the ball. He turns up in big moments, whether it be through work rate wise, or winning the ball back, or his tackling, or his passing, his ball progression, dribbling. He is multi-talented and can play in multiple different positions to display those many talents of his. And it would become a fantastic signing for anybody who is to sign him. But of course, like I say, the overall story here is that with 18 months left on his contract, he seems to have a lot of options open to him. And he's very much prepared to explore those options himself and see, obviously, what people or what the other clubs have to offer. Even if that means staying at Bayern Munich or not staying at Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich seemingly want to keep him. They seemingly are open to opening negotiations and obviously extending his stay at the Allianz Arena furthermore beyond 2025, which I think is obvious and fair. But maybe at 28 years of age, maybe he is starting to consider his future. And obviously with him already winning everything there is to be won at Bayern Munich, with him achieving so much, maybe he's just looking for a new challenge, and it's not out the realms of possibility for that obviously to be the case. Remember a few years ago, Thiago Alcantara, I think he was 28 years of age when he made the move to Liverpool. Obviously, things haven't quite worked out there because of injuries and things. But you get my point. Like, so sometimes you can just stay at a club for way too long, and sometimes you may want that move, and if you don't get that move now, it may not happen. And with him obviously being in the prime of his career, maybe he may be thinking it might be time to leave Bayern and maybe pursue other challenges elsewhere. And like I say, he seems to have a number of options on the table for him going forward. Let's say 28 years of age, 18 months left on his contract. PSG are interested. You know, you go from basically bagging Bundesliga titles almost at will with Bayern to then going and doing it in France, but you might not have as much pull for the Champions League, but you would be on a pretty nice wage. You'd be on some pretty decent money, and you might be on the verge of something. You could always have that one manager that's going to create the history of winning PSG's first Champions League title. There is always that possibility, I guess. Whether or not it's realistic or not, obviously remains to be seen what happens under Luis Enrique at the French club, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Elsewhere, you've got Manchester City. Does their situation regarding 115 charges sort of throw that into a bit of disarray and chaos, especially for at least the immediate future? We'll have to wait and see on that one again. But if obviously they are to be cleared and they are to be perfectly fine in the investigation, and obviously nothing is to come about in terms of a punishment, playing under Pep Guardiola, playing for the best team in England, playing for a team that is in that is in pole position to win multiple league titles, pole position to win multiple trophies right across the board, whether it be in Europe or at a domestic level, would be perfect for him. And like I say, when you consider that the Man City defence does look like it's in need of a bit of a shake-up, you look at the midfield as well. He can always drop into midfield should he need to. Can always be in that defensive midfield role for if Rodri needs a rest or is suspended or injured or whatever the case may be. Could always play further afield. So if Kevin De Bruyne, for example, is not quite there, and obviously would be a massive improvement and an upgrade on the likes of Matheus Nunes and Kovacic that are already at Manchester City as of right now, he would be a drastic improvement there, and I think that he would be fantastic in those particular positions and areas that City may look to strengthen upon in the near future. And as for Liverpool, look, midfield, it's a no-brainer. He could drop into there. But defensively as well, if he was to play at right back, like, that could cover Trent perfectly. Like, you don't always have to play Trent in the centre of in the centre of midfield. You don't always have to play Trent at right back. Those two can interchange. Those two could sub out, change up, whatever the case may be. That could be the perfect, and I've been calling for this for a while, by the way, for Liverpool. I've been saying that Liverpool need a Joshua Kimmich type player, and I think that would be the absolute perfection, beautiful signing that Liverpool could make. Whether or not it actually does happen obviously remains to be seen, but I think Liverpool will be, or could be, in a position where it would be a very attractive offer for Kimmich, not just in terms of financial matters, but in terms of being a club that is poised to challenge for the big trophies, not necessarily be in pole position like what City would be in, but challenge for them in years to come. And like I say, they do seem a bit more stable than Manchester City because obviously they don't have 115 charges as of right now looming over them. I highly doubt they've actually got any charges on the horizon, but you never know. But like I say, I find it interesting, this. I think this is going to be a very intriguing developing story that I think we should all keep our eyes on. Kimmich, for me, is a fantastic footballer and a footballer that I admire so much at Bayern, and I think would do a perfect job, and I would love to see him over in England, not necessarily a Manchester City shirt. But I imagine there's going to be a lot of other teams that are going to be interested in taking him as well. When you've got a player that is that good on the ball, that good off the ball, very experienced for a 28-year-old, obviously got a winning mentality from being at Bayern, international level of playing for Germany as well on a regular basis. And also is just so versatile. And again, I come back to this versatility, which I keep saying is a factor that I believe you need in the modern day game to make yourself great and to make yourself a player that is admired by the top managers from across the board. When you've got that versatility as well to your game, it always is an addition to what you have in your arsenal. And I believe that he could be a very, very key transfer going forward, and a very good transfer at that going forward for whichever team picks him up. Like I say, the overall arching consensus on this story seems to be that Bayern will look to shift him on this summer if they feel like Kimmich isn't going to sign a new deal. So they probably will get something from a very prized and very valuable asset. They won't then lose him on a free the next season. Teams may be willing to wait, depending on obviously how desperate they are for Kimmich or a player like Kimmich, which, like I say, for his versatility, doesn't come around much too often. And I think, like I say, from a Liverpool perspective as well, like I say, I think he'd be perfect, not only just to cover for Trent, but we've seen how well Klopp can do with these types of versatile players. And I think he would love to get his hands on Kimmich and to try and mould him into the way that Klopp plays. And obviously Klopp wants to play his football, and the way that he could fit into that, I think would be perfection in itself. Now, whether or not it does happen or not, obviously remains to be seen, and I don't necessarily think it will. I think, in all honesty, I think he'll probably re-sign with Bayern, and I think he'll go on to create an incredible legacy with the German club, full of league titles, domestic titles, and maybe the odd one or two European titles to their name as well before his career is done and dusted. But it's going to be interesting to watch this one. It's going to be very interesting to watch, and like I say, whether it happens this summer because Bayern decide to get rid of him and try and cash in on him whilst they have the opportunity to do so, or whether it's going to be 18 months from now where Bayern are forced to lose him on a free transfer, it's going to make for a very intriguing viewing. So cannot wait for that. As well, there is also the possibility that maybe he does go on and re-sign a new deal with the German giants, and maybe goes on to, like I say, create that legacy, create that dynasty at one of the biggest clubs in world football, and obviously in his home nation of Germany as well. So we'll wait and see obviously what happens with Joshua Kimmich, but it was very interesting to obviously read the kind of headline from Christian Falk today that Liverpool and Manchester City are both interested in Joshua Kimmich. I'm intrigued by this story. I'm hoping that this story actually has some weight to it or not. Obviously, I'll be back later to talk about Liverpool when they take on Fulham in the Carabao Cup second leg tonight. So fingers crossed Liverpool can get through to another Carabao Cup final. So just thought I'd throw something out there just to gauge the opinions really of everybody on this particular story. Like I say, PSG are also interested. Wait and see on that one, I think. Like I say, bit of a gamble for him. Manchester City, again, it might be another wait and see moment, depending on obviously how they are going to fare with obviously the trial that's upcoming for them. But for Liverpool, I think it could be a very perfect signing indeed. But obviously, like I say, we'll have to wait and see. I still think he'll probably re-sign with Bayern. But I wanted to throw this story out there and gauge the opinion of you guys. So these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of anything that I talked about in this video in regards to Joshua Kimmich? Where do you think that he will go? Where do you think his footballing future will take him? Will he stay at Bayern Munich, or will he go for a move to the Premier League? Or is there a team like PSG that are said to be interested? Or will we go to somewhere else? Maybe like a La Liga team. A top La Liga team is waiting in the wings to pounce. Maybe a top Serie A team is maybe waiting to take him on as well. Love to know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, down below in the comment section, because I'm sure it'll make for interesting and great reading. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way up and enjoy the video. Subscribe if you're new and want to see more content like this. Those things are always and forever greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I'll see you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers guys, thanks everyone for watching, take care, enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll speak to you again very soon.